This neighbourhood threw a full-on parade to show their UPS driver how much they appreciate him. But appreciation doesn't have to be that elaborate. Even if it's a heartfelt thank you note, it feels good to give gratitude. Welcome to the Humankind Connection. I'm your host, Terry Badu. Our show today is all about, you guessed it, gratitude. That was definitely the overwhelming emotion felt by Navy veteran Kenny Jerry. Patriotic Kenny, as he's known, became an internet sensation, famous for good deeds and riding his scooter bedecked with the stars and stripes. When his scooter broke down, his neighbour Amanda turned to social media for help. What happened next was more than either of them bargained for. Kenny Jerry's community is about to surprise him with an unbelievable gift.
Can I open my eyes?
Yep.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
This 79-year-old Navy veteran loves meeting new people while rolling along on his scooter. Over time, Kenny earned the nickname Patriotic Kenny.
Because that's Kenny. He loves everything.
Yes, it's got to be red, white, and blue.
Well, when I met Kenny, his scooter had, I think, just the 2 flags on it, or just one.
I think it was just one, Amanda.
Just one little flag on the back. So July 4th, like you mentioned, for that parade, we kind of decked it out.
Oh, did they decorate? They had pinwheels, flags. I got more compliments on that scooter than whatever.
Kenny's beloved scooter was already 30 years old when he got it used from a friend.
All of a sudden, I had a hard time. I would conk out all the time. It wouldn't go far.
Soon the scooter was unsafe to use and couldn't be fixed. To help Kenny get a new scooter, Amanda started a fundraiser.
I set up the original goal of $4,000. Thought maybe he could get the scooter and have a little bit of spending money, you know? Things are not always easy. And so I set up, I thought, I doubt it's even gonna make it. Like, he'll probably get like $200. I didn't want him to be disappointed.
What happened next surprised them both.
In 24 hours, people on TikTok, strangers who have never met you but love you, donated $5,000 for a scooter for you.
No, you're kidding. I don't know what to say, Amanda.
We can get a scooter today if you want. No red tape. Just red, white, and blue tape, that's all.
But the generosity was just getting started.
Remember last time we were here, we had raised $5,000.
Yeah.
So now, I just looked. You know how much people have given to you? Any idea?
No.
How much do you think?
Well, let's see, it was what, 8,000? I don't know, probably 10,000?
Almost. They've given you $45,000.
What? Amanda, what?
Amanda's fundraiser made more than $100,000, and Kenny was able to get the first of 2 brand new scooters.
No, not yet. Yeah, I've got part of it set up.
Can I open my eyes?
Yep.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness, Amanda.
It's your scooter, one of them. Come on, let's go over to it. You can take a seat. Come on, I'll walk you over to it.
I don't believe this. Look at this out here, man.
Come on over, take a seat on it.
Oh, Amanda.
Come on.
Thank you. That's...
Come sit on it.
Oh, Amanda, this is stopping.
This portable scooter will give Kenny back his independence until his everyday scooter arrives.
I can't believe it, Amanda. This is mine.
I cried. Like I'm crying now. Just, this happened. I'd never in my life think this was going to go this way, and that Amanda did,
Amanda and Kenny intend to pay it forward to other veterans who also need scooters.
We're giving away 10 free scooters to veterans. And so far, I think we have almost 800 applicants within a few days. We're very, very grateful for how people in the community have just totally rallied around this and the attention it's getting, not just for Kenny, but for veterans. It's my honor. I think anyone would or should do that for anyone they know. It's nothing special. It's just human kindness.
And if you'd like to help Kenny help other vets, just type GoFundMe free scooters for veterans into your browser for more details. Now, Blaine Morgan is the head coach of the Lamar University Cardinals, but he doesn't want to just teach his team how to play football. He wants to show them what gratitude really means. That's why he took the opportunity to make an example of two of the team's walk-on players.
We got off at 11 last night from working at BW3s. Who else in here worked till 11 last night? Okay. John Garza, I see you. Okay. All right, but nobody else, right? Nobody else. Okay, because the rest of you guys are on scholarship, right? Okay, so y'all are chilling in your room. And he's been doing this for, this is your fourth year, for 4 years. He's been working out, waking up to do a morning workout. Okay, he's been showing up in the weight room. Okay, all right, and then he's been going to work. All right, at night. All right, okay, see Will, he's only been here for a hot minute. All right, it's only his second year. All right, but okay, he wakes up. I mean, he's a guy you like to be around every day, right? Yes, sir. Okay, I mean, he's got a smile on his face. He's paying for school, guys, but he's happy to be here. Okay, all right. If you got someone you want to look up to, okay, of how to wake up and be grateful every day for what you got, right? That's what we're going into. Thanksgiving. Okay, you're grateful. You find what you're thankful. You look up and you say, "Thank you. I got a great opportunity." Okay, these two guys are great examples. Okay, and today, okay, retroactive, okay, both these guys are going on scholarship.
I think it's fair to say those boys just won the lottery. Make no bones about it. Being a walk-on is the hardest job in college football, and a scholarship is the holy grail. From sports, we head to the world of work, where Susan Ellis and Tia Wimbush immediately hit it off as co-workers at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. But they had no idea how life-changing their friendship would become. Tia and Susan are returning to work after donating a kidney to each other's husbands.
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's hard to put into words the level of selflessness that it takes to give a piece of your body, an organ, to someone else. And she did that for my husband. Someone she doesn't know. She knows him now, but she didn't even know him. And the depth of her giving just overwhelms me. That's what I see when I see Susan.
Their husbands went into renal failure within days of one another. Both men desperately needed a new kidney.
Lance and I got married last year. Lance came into the marriage with a dog, and I came into the marriage with 2 girls. I knew Lance was ill when we first started dating. He had already had a transplant in January of 2017. We didn't get a honeymoon. We spent the next day after we got married in the hospital, which started a series of hospital visits for Lance.
What happens is you have to plan your life around dialysis, and it's not just my husband's life. All of our lives are planned around him being able to get that treatment.
Tia and Susan met at work. During a catch-up, they had a life-changing conversation.
And we started having a conversation about where my husband and I were in the transplant evaluation process. But with that, we started talking about blood types during that process. And Susan mentioned that her husband, Lance, is O negative. And it was like a light bulb moment went off in my head, and I was thinking, I'm O. And she said that she's A, and my husband is A also.
4 weeks later, Susan donated her kidney to Rodney. The same day, Tia donated her kidney to Lance. Both transplants were a success.
The first time I spoke to Tia was the next day, and I walked down the hallway where Rodney's room was to say hello to him. And Tia and Rodney were together in his room. And Rodney gave me a smile and a thumbs up, and that felt really neat and cool to see that.
After recovering, Tia and Susan went back to work on the same day, and their co-workers surprised them with a welcome back celebration.
I was not expecting that at all whatsoever, and my heart was just so full. And then as I got further and further and just saw people that I knew cheering me on, I just was just overwhelmed with joy. And then I saw Susan and Rodney.
It's overwhelming, and it's just joyful to see them. We're just family now, so it felt great.
Friend, let's sing to the Lord. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, sir. Thank you, Father. Thank you.
This patient is in tears because he can see for the first time in 19 years. The man he's hugging is his doctor, Noel Laksamana, who restored his sight during a 7-minute operation.
Oh, hallelujah. Oh, wow.
The 65-year-old patient suffered from cataracts for more than 2 decades before getting the opportunity to have surgery. The doctor used to work in big hospitals, but opened a clinic in his hometown in the Philippines to give back. More than 60% of his patients are charity cases.
Remember, God created us in His image. Yes. You were worthy of the Lord and Spirit and King. Saka ako sir, bakit nagkakaigit sa pool? Wala akong tinatusok. It's only by grace. Wow.
Now you can see. Don't touch your eyes.
Hallelujah.
Connie also lived with blindness for years, but in her case, it was down to misdiagnosis. You might think that would result in bitterness and resentment, but as you'll see, Connie's reaction was quite the opposite. Doctors told her to accept her blindness. 15 years later, she got her sight back.
Yeah, I still have it.
Connie used to volunteer, driving children with cancer to chemotherapy.
On the way back from one of my last trips, I noticed halos, and around every light I looked at. And I went to the doctors thinking that I was just either tired or I needed a new prescription. And he found a significant loss of sight. And he thought I had glaucoma.
In a matter of weeks, she completely lost her sight.
I was in denial for a long time until I started hurting myself. And that's when my daughter came in. I had an old gas stove, so old it had the griddle in the middle, and it had to be lit with matches and pilot lights, and I couldn't see. So I would turn on the gas and get my match over where I would think it needed to be, and it would flash me, and it would like catch my hand towel or my pot holder on fire. And then I'd start flinging it around, and the next thing you know, my curtain would be on fire. And I would have a red face and flash burn. And then when my daughter found out that I was walking into walls and getting lost and catching myself on fire, she was like, I had to go where I could learn to be blind.
Her daughter Barbara lived in Colorado and found her mum a school for the blind in Denver.
She was telling me about getting hurt and about needing help, and there was a promise I made to my mom as a little girl that I would always be there if she needed me. I would never let her go into a nursing home. I will take care of her when she gets old. She is my mom, and I will always be there for her, no matter what happens between us. So when she was telling me she was getting hurt, I said, okay, that's enough.
Connie came to terms with her blindness until one day she received life-changing news.
And the retina specialist saw me and said, I was misdiagnosed and there was nothing wrong with my retinas. They weren't detached and they weren't diseased, but he felt I needed to go see a cataract specialist.
2 cataract removals later, Connie had perfect vision.
She asked me to look at the eye chart and read the best line I could. And the first line I read was 20/20.
It was time for her to see her family for the first time in 15 years.
No problem. I've had a long time, Mama. I'm old.
What?
Because you're going to be Cincinnati. I'm old.
Just so overwhelming to be able to see her. For 15 years, I only knew her by touch and what she looked like. And then to see her brown eyes like mine. And to see her little piercings that I could only feel.
She saw her grandchildren for the first time.
Oh my God, I kept staring at them. All I could do was stare at them.
Connie says she doesn't carry any resentment.
The God's honest truth is, when I got my sight back, I was so happy that I could not be angry. I could not be that person. I was so blessed of this miracle because we truly believed that I would live the rest of my life without sight, and I was prepared. And I don't want to be an angry, bitter person thinking, why? It happened. And the best part is I have my sight back. It was a long time ago, and no, they didn't have the technology and the knowledge they have today. And I lost it so fast. We were jumping at straws from driving to 5.5 months later having to be driven. So I have no ill feelings towards anybody that misdiagnosed me, because it all worked out in the end.
It was in 2009 that Frank Grasberger received a letter from a little girl thanking him for his service. Frank cherished the letter and wrote back, but the pen pals never met. Until recently, that is, when Frank got the surprise of his life. Humankind's Sarah Scanlon has the story.
This World War II veteran has been holding on to this letter for 12 years. He doesn't know that he's about to meet the little girl, now all grown up, who wrote it.
So,
What do you say?
they're going to send somebody here to question you on this letter that you wrote. The girl that wrote the letter.
Yeah.
So they want more information.
So here she is.
Hello.
You're not the girl.
Turns out she hung on to the letter she received from him, too.
Don't make me cry, please.
So Frank, this is Deshauna Priest.
You wrote me that.
Is that the one I wrote back? Oh, you kept it. Oh, I got hungry.
This is the girl, isn't it?
Yes.
Honest to God. Oh, I love you so much. I really do.
Deshauna was 9 years old when she got the school assignment to write a letter to a service member.
I said, thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for saving us from Hitler. And if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have freedom.
Deeply moved by the letter, Frank Grasberger and his wife Dee wrote back to Deshauna.
I actually was the first one in the whole class to get my letter back. And they read my letter to the class, and then I took it home, and my mom suggested that I put it away in my memory box.
Frank held on to his letter too and shared the story with the staff at his assisted living facility.
I'm very proud of this, and I hope to show it to other people.
The staff tracked down Deshauna, who had just recently reread Frank's old letter.
I cried. I ran in my mom's room. I didn't even know my mom was awake, but I ran in my mom's room and I was like, Mom, oh my God, I just showed you the letter that he had wrote me, and now she's writing me telling me that she wants to set up something. I was speechless because I didn't know that anybody could just hold the letter so near and dear to them. I just didn't know, unless it was like my mom. My mom holds stuff like that.
A meeting was arranged to surprise Frank, but he wasn't the only one who got a surprise.
So when I first got there, I got there in my uniform and nobody knew that I was in the military. So I just showed up in uniform and they were all like, are you the girl that wrote the letter? I was like, yeah. He didn't think I was really the girl at first. And then I had showed him my letter and then I started crying, he started crying, everybody started crying.
Frank and his wife had tried to connect with Deshauna for more than a decade and finally got their chance.
Did you ever think it would happen?
No.
I didn't either. I
Who found
really
you?
didn't. You don't know how long I pray every night with this thing. I really do.
I feel so special.
Don't worry about it, Ben. I feel the same way. This is I'm telling you, this is a godsend. It really is.
Now in the military herself, Deshauna hopes the next generation keeps writing letters.
It really means a lot just to see that somebody appreciates us and what we do for the country. So if you ever want to write somebody, I think you should, because no telling how long they've been like without talking to their families or anything like that. So if you feel like you should write somebody or you want to, just extend the extra, hey, I care about you, you should.
Don't think I'm a soft to you.
A letter doing what an email never could. Our final story is about making the most of a new lease on life, paying it forward, as they say. Meet Raylan. This gentle giant has taken on the role of a loving foster dad to not one, not two, or even a dozen, but well over 75 foster kittens and cats in the last few years. The 75-pound mutt cares for tiny kittens sometimes well under a pound, as if they were his own. His mum, Laura, thinks Raylan's devotion to these homeless pets has something to do with his own past.
He was my 10th foster dog that I had, and I ended up keeping him. So for some reason, nobody wanted him, so that's everybody else's loss there.
Raylan, can you give me a beer? Give me a beer.
He was going to be euthanized because no one wanted to adopt him. He was not badly behaved. He was not trained. So when I got him, he was almost 2 and didn't know how to sit.
What a good boy.
Laura hopes Raylan's story inspires others to take a chance on someone. And that's going to do it for this edition of the Humankind Connection. We trust you feel inspired. Thanks for watching. I'm Terry Badu. Bye for now.